Hello, MavMind Collective, and welcome to another episode of the Hypnosales Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get you promoted. All right, you are in a job right now, just like I'm in a job right now. You're probably working for somebody else, especially if you're subscribing to my channel and you're watching me and all my video content here about how to hypnotize customers and incorporating subconscious into your sales process, for example, or customer-facing role that you have. You probably are working for someone else, and I bet you're wanting to get promoted soon. That's also why you're watching this video, because I'm going to talk about the 3 things I've learned to always do in order to set yourself up to be promoted. Okay, so there's many reasons why people get promoted. You can get promoted just because you're just a rock star and it's obvious you should be promoted, or maybe you're natural in your job and your ability to move to the next level. Maybe your boss already knows that you're ready to move up to the next level. But for most of us, we end up working in a job and typically stay there until either we have ambition and passion to want to move to the next level, or our managers notice that we're doing certain things that then make it very obvious to them that they should promote us into that next level. Maybe from an individual contributor to a manager role, or it could be from a manager to a director or senior director and on up to VP level and beyond. Okay, so but these 3 things that I have are very MavMind-ish, subconscious type. They have things that you can use from the subconscious mind in order to get your boss to consider you for a position, a promotion sooner than maybe they normally would. Okay. So the first thing you want to do first is you want to just ask your boss to imagine or picture you in the role 6 months from now. So 6 months from now, can you imagine or picture me in the role, doing the role? So you're actually giving them a command into the future. So this is a future tensing, and I've talked about this in other videos. You're using the subconscious only knows now, the conscious knows past and future. So the conscious mind of your manager is going to be preoccupied with 6 months from now, which hasn't happened yet. So they have to imagine or picture it, okay, you in the role. And then you ask this key question: what did I do to be promoted? What did I do to get there? So imagine or picture that 6 months from now, I'm already promoted in this new role. What did I do to get there? And then listen to what he or she says back. Because what's going to happen is in their subconscious mind, they're going to hear you talking about the future, and they're not going to know what the future is, because the conscious knows the future and the past, but the subconscious only knows now. So the subconscious is not going to understand 6 months from now. It's going to negate that, delete that, and it's only going to think about what you're saying now, of imagine me or picture me in the role. So you say 6 months, but then the subconscious hears in the role now. So you're actually using this as a way to plant the seed into your manager's mind, so he or she starts imagining or picturing you in the role already now. That's what you're doing. Now, when you ask them, like, what did I do to get there? Now that's them having to figure out, like, yeah, what did you do? Okay, you would have done A, B, and C, D types of things. And they start to tell you these A, B, C, D. They give you this list of criteria. Basically, it could be behaviors that you exhibit. It could be tasks that you've completed. So you want to listen for those behaviors and those tasks. Start making a mental note of those things, because that in their mind, in their subconscious, when you cause them to surface it to their conscious to tell you, that's what they're imagining or picturing you doing to get there. Okay, so you get that criteria from them, and then you do the second one here I have, number 2, you start doing those things. You start behaving that way immediately. Just start behaving the way they said. Start performing those extra tasks. Do your day job, your regular job that you have now, but also start doing these other tasks that are in the role that you want. The job that you want, you have to start behaving and acting like as if you're already in that new role. You already have the title. So give yourself in your mind the title, pretend you have that title of that new thing, and start doing it. Now, if it's your boss's job, you want to ask your boss to give you some things that maybe he or she, some of the things that they don't want to do. There's always a part of their job that they don't want to do. So ask them, is there any part of your job that you don't like to do that much that you can let me do for you and give me a chance to learn how to do your job? Because one day I'd love to I'd love to have your job so it would help me understand, help me to learn. And I'm willing to put in the extra time to do that, plus my regular job too. Would you mind doing that? And you can get them to give you some of those things. Trust me, they have lots of stuff that they'll be happy to give you. You just have to ask for it. And you start exhibiting those behaviors, start acting like you've got the job. And then there's this third concept that's very important, and usually people, managers and directors and people higher up in the org chart know about this, but if you're kind of at the very bottom and you're trying to work your way up, you may not know about this, but it's called a successor. Everyone has a successor. So just like when you're asking your boss, hey, is there something that you can give me off your plate that I can do that you don't want to do? They're starting to see you as their successor. They're starting to imagine you taking their place. And all mid-level to upper management typically, and all the way up to executives, typically talk about successors in a very open way in these higher level meetings that they have. They'll say, like, who's your successor? Who's going to succeed this person? When this person gets promoted, well, who do I backfill them with? Because they don't want to have to worry about hiring all these new people to backfill when they can just find existing people on the team to backfill, or the person that we want to promote is maybe trying to hire someone that could be their successor. So you want to identify and basically find your successor, start developing that successor. So for example, if you have a peer, someone that's a peer in your team, and you say, hey, imagine I got promoted into this other role. Would you like to have my job? Would you like to do what I do, or no? And ask around and figure out who is going to be the one that's willing to learn your job. You can teach them and start developing them. It's called developing your successor for the moment that you get promoted. Then you can move that person in underneath you and backfill you almost instantly. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Find that successor, figure out who's willing to do your job so you can go get the other job that you want. And then you communicate that up to your manager. Hey, I got a successor. I found my successor. It's this person over here. I'm developing them now. And talk like that, because they want to hear that, because you're making it really, really easy on your boss to promote you if he or she knows you've already got someone to take your place. And they're probably going to promote you a lot faster because you've already got someone to take your place. So you got to work at it. You got to work at finding a successor to take your place, thinking what the boss is going to think. Put yourself out into the 6 months into the future. Get your boss to tell you what you did to get there, and then start behaving that way. So if you do all three of these things, you're for sure going to get promoted. I've rarely not been promoted when I've done these things, or when I've taught other people to do these. It's very rare that I see them not be promoted. Most of the time they are, because they're doing all the key things at the conscious and the subconscious level to ensure that everyone is happy with them moving up to the next role. And they'll be happy with you moving up to the next role too, if you follow these 3 steps. Thank you for watching. I know you find value in these videos, didn't you? Now, if you, like me, are in a customer-facing role, you want to get better every day at what you do, but you don't have to watch another video if you don't want to.